First time we can say good afternoon, TECH1. We've only had good mornings. So if you want to come a little closer, we have the privilege of having the most intimate, but not only the most intimate, we also have the best panel. So those of you who survived 2.5 or 3 days here, we're the last thing between you and the beach. But we've got a very, very special, and I'm really, really happy to have this amazing panel. We thought the whole 3 days are going to be about cyber, fintech, AI, but today was mostly about defense tech, right? We had a lot of defense tech here today. What we wanted to do to close out this amazing event, and hopefully this becomes a fixture for Israeli tech for next year and the following years, and we turn this into something that helps Israel boost beyond Silicon Valley even. But what we wanted to do is take 3 sectors and represent them with 3 amazing serial entrepreneurs that will use their own stories as well as what they're working on right now to introduce us to 3 sectors that are at least 3 times bigger than cyber. And I'm talking about sectors that are helping us defend us. We heard a lot of those today. Sector that's helping us be better as humans in medical devices. And we all live, we had the mayor of Eilat on. We are going to also hear about government tech. All these sectors, as I said, 3 times at least bigger than cyber, and Israel really needs these sectors to thrive. I'm Jason Wolf, co-founder of a VC fund that was founded just after October 7th and has invested since then in 24 startups, including the 3 that are with me right now. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to have each one of them introduce themselves, but also a little bit about why they're doing what they're doing. So not only who they are, also a little bit about why they're doing. So I'm going to start. I'll start with defense because we'll get it out of the way early because we've heard about all day. And I'm surprised. So tell us about yourself and something a little bit different that people haven't heard from you earlier this morning.
Yeah, I'll try to be unique this time. So I'm Yiftach Shoolman, serial entrepreneur, the CEO and co-founder of Line 5. I think one of the reasons behind creating Line 5 was the fact that I have 3 kids. Luckily, none of them in the front line, not because they ran away from...
They're too smart, your kids.
They're too smart, yes. But the sad story, I don't know if you know that, the fatality ratio between our soldiers and Hamas and Hezbollah is like 1 to 20. And some people will tell you even less because there is no right way to actually count how much we killed. There is double counting, etc. And 1 to 20 is just too low ratio. And we as a, I would say, modern society cannot survive this for long. And I return to my kids, I think each one of them has someone at his age that was injured or killed. I live in Maccabim, which is around Modi'in area, and I think it's well known that this is where most of the combat in Israel lives. And this situation just triggered me to do something different, and this is why I'm doing defense.
And before I move on, just the name Line 5, I know it means a lot to some people, but very little to other people. Just tell them what the name means, because it's got triple meaning, I think.
Yeah, I think there are 2 aspects to it. So Line 5 in Hebrew is Kav Chamesh, right? It used to be the secret code to the units that I used to serve, we used to serve in, right? Seret, Matkal, and the unfortunate story of Line 5, that was also the bus line number that was involved in the first suicide bombing attack of the Hamas in Israel in 1994. This event claimed the life of 22 civilians, including my childhood friend. And this is the unfortunate portion of the story. So, yeah.
Thank you, Yiftach. Ori.
Thank you. So my name is Ori. I also, over my career, founded several companies and been CEO of 3 of them, and the last of them is Mazor Robotics. that I run it for almost 20 years. And I'm involved today as the chairman of board of 3 other companies. And I think that what brought me to the medical area is, in a way, a reaction to what Yiftach just said. I came out from the army, and it was hard for me to listen to you in a very traumatic experience. And I knew that I want to do everything but something that has to do with military or defense or this area. And I consciously decided that I'm going to focus on the medical, almost as a self-therapy, I must say. So it was an escape more than anything else. That's where I started. And the reason I continue is because that's all what I know. So that's all what I did over my career. So for about 30 years or more, all what I did was in the area of medical device, bioinformatics, and tissue regeneration.
Great. And a follow-up for you, because I think especially the audience, we have a diverse audience. Give us an example of a company. You talk about regeneration, you talk about things. Get us excited. Tell us about a company that's doing something in the medical device area so people understand how it touches them really. You talk about saving people and lives. Give us an example.
Happy to. I'll give 2 examples that I think that can are interesting. One of them is a company called Precise Bio. And Precise Bio actually started by developing 3D printers that use bio-ink. Rather than using ink, they're using cells. And what they actually do, their original business model was to sell the printers to the industry that produce tissues. Later on, they found out that the business model would be better if we will focus on the tissue and not on the printer. So today, Precise Bio tissue print corneas for the ophthalmology industry, and in about 4 weeks from today, the first patient will be implanted with a cornea that's been printed in Modi'in. So that's kind of a creation, something like Bria or magic that is done here, 3 hours drive or 3.5 hours drive from here. The second company, the other companies are in the area of in-body navigation, the ability to, very much like guiding either as missiles or drone or others, the ability to define a location and fly or navigate a tool inside the body non-invasively into the target, ablate, remove the tissue, and go out. That's another direction, another field that we are doing.
Those are great examples that touch every one of us, our families and everything. Third industry, and an amazing entrepreneur, female entrepreneur that I'm sorry to mention it, but there were so many panels here that people didn't mention it, and for us it wasn't even hard. We've got Gali with us.
Okay, so hello everybody, I'm Gali. I'm the co-founder and CPO of BWID. BWID is a GovTech company. We're selling software to local government, and we have a bold mission to make the cities smarter and the local communities much stronger. I don't know if you know, but cities are a huge aggregator of events. Some of the events they are initiated by the city, but most of the events are initiated by their trusted partner. We built a unified smart calendar designed around the resident needs. It acts as a marketplace where city departments, trusted partners, businesses, and residents can shape what happens in the community. I like to describe the power of the platform with the numbers. So on average, city reach between 10 to 15% of the residents. After using our platform only for 1 year, this number climbs to over 40. The number of published events increases by 500%, and the resident participation rises by 350. It's incredible numbers that make money to the ecosystem, but for the city, it creates a lot of prestige. I will give you one example. Digital Tel Aviv, the business community of the city of Tel Aviv, is one of the big communities that's running on our platform. The city asks the businesses to give incentive to the residents, and the city distribute all the events that those businesses are doing, and it's a win-win. I will say something why I'm proud to be a co-founder in this specific company. I founded the company with Adi Perry in May 2019, just few months before COVID-19. The pandemic emphasized more than ever the importance of local communities and the role of local government in such situations. We harness the infrastructure of the city to do just that. Cities understand that when residents feel connected to their communities, engagement rises and cities become better and safer. On a personal note, I must say that I look on what we are creating as technology with art, aiming for real connection between people. I personally believe that a major part of our well-being relies on the meaningful connection we have with the people around us, especially in unstable world with pandemics, wars, crises, and even the rapid revolution of AI. The human connection is critical, and cities are key enabler to make them happen. I will end by saying what happened on our platform after the days after October 7. We started to see incredible initiatives driven by the local government and the communities they have built on top of our platform. Residents opened their house to residents that had to leave their homes. Organizing a donation, we distributed over 30 million shekels in vouchers to residents that had to leave their houses, and of course all kinds of events to the displaced residents. Building strong communities takes time. The cities must begin the work in routine time, and the value is amplified in crisis situation. Today we operate in over 50 cities across Israel and 30 cities in the US, mostly in California and Texas.
Thanks, Gali. I think you can all agree that what makes Israel and Israel tech such a big sector, like we've heard before, is these types of entrepreneurs, the people that can bring life experiences and start meaningful companies that will scale not in Israel only, but scale globally to solve big humanity problems. I want to, actually I'll jump to Ori now in a follow-on question. The stats are, and I was surprised to see that there's, out of the 9,000 startups in Israel, the biggest category is not AI, cyber, and enterprise software put together. That's only the second biggest category. The biggest category is actually health tech. Why is that? And what does it mean about us as Israel Innovations when we look at so many health tech related companies?
So I'm not sure I have a very clear and structured answer to it. I want to say that, first of all, I think that it represents the past. I'm not sure it will represent the future. And I think that it has to do with the way academic education took place in Israel, where it was very multidisciplinary. And a lot of this has to do with what needed in the area that connect between hardware, software, biology, physiology, and stuff like that. I also think, and maybe I want to think, I'm not sure, that because many of us come out from the military, many of us, like me, want to do something that we feel that is kind of a recovery or something that we perceive subjectively as good. And I also think that some of the first big exits that took place in Israel and the big industries in Israel, both Elcint and Teva, are in this area, and this actually was a legacy that many try to follow. Whether it's a very analytical answer, I'm not sure, but that's my impression. And
to extend that sustainability, you hinted that it's not sustainable for the future. I think, definitely in this audience in the country, it might be a legacy that's not going to produce results, but have you got any guesses or any kind of predictions?
Yeah. I'm very concerned. We are not going in the right direction. I think that if priorities will not be changed, significant investment in academic, just as some of the previous speakers talk, significant investment in academic studies, in education, prioritizing life over land, making role modeling about it. And needless to say, what I'm trying to hint behind it, we are not going to the direction of focusing on saving life of people through the industry, but the opposite.
Okay, so we know we need to invest in tech. I know we've just got a little time, so I'd like Gali and then Yiftach to end with where you see government tech as something that's a huge industry, but not that prevalent in Israel. What else needs to be done here in a few sentences? And then to you, Yiftach, you'll have time to think about it. Defense tech seems very buzzy. How do we make it real, like we spoke about the primes? How do we create the new Israeli Anduril or that type of company here, and what's going to be needed here?
So I will start. Okay, so local government, it's a huge market, okay? And the potential is actually huge if we are thinking about ourselves to be in every city and to reach each resident. It's an endless time, okay? It's also a very stable market with high retention rate and less impacted by economic shift. So it's very good for us, like the time is big and okay. I think what you need to understand about local government is how to enter, okay? And we, in the last 3 years, understood how to sell to local governments. So first of all, we are not selling to departments, we are selling directly to the city manager. The budget with the city manager, we always present the value to the city manager, and this is how we get in. Second thing that we are doing is the strategy of land and expense, okay? We first sell fast, small contract. Usually it takes us 72 days to close a contract, which is very fast, okay? And then we grow with the city because there is a high retention. City, if you onboard city, usually they will upgrade the technology with you. Another approach that we have, especially in the US, is to focus on specific states. Once we have a hold in a specific state, the other city, due to strong network effect and sense of FOMO, the cities among the nearby cities also come and become our customers. I think that if we want to build a GovTech vertical in Israel, investor needs to invest. Today we see few companies that operate in scale. The most well-known is Density, that specialize in analyzing the sentiment, and they opened important doors for us in the US, by the way. Another player is Placer AI, that give valuable location insight, and also we are cooperating with them. If investor will be in local gov and we will have a bigger ecosystem, I think this is the way to do it.
Thanks so much, Gali. And rounding us up and give us some optimism. You're in the protection business.
I will only speak about the potential of the defense. I think Aaron mentions that the defense market is around $3 trillion, which is an order of magnitude bigger than the cybersecurity. If you look at how many unicorns there are in the cybersecurity world, there are around 1,000, even more. And in the defense sector, there are less than 5. So I think that there is a huge potential with everything that is happening today, and everyone discussed about it earlier today, to create very large defense companies here in Israel.
Thanks, Yiftach. Thanks, Ori. Thanks, Gali. I think the wrap-up sentence is we've now discovered, and it's 2025, we'll see this in a few years, we've discovered the first industry that's going to be bigger than cyber in Israel. So thanks, everybody, for joining TECH1, and we'll see you next year.